demonstrates his own love for us in this. While we were still sinners, Christ.
Good evening, everyone. I'm back. I'm trying to
think of that. While we were sinners, Christ died for us. While you and I rejected.
make sure that this studio and this is acting right. This is really a test what I'm doing. But again, I still want to announce, if you guys didn't hear me when I was on here about 20 minutes ago, I want to announce about Marvina Haynes is having an event October the 2nd. And I'm going to try to pull that up. And again, I just want to let everyone know that our lines are always open for the prisoners, even if we're not on the platform, even if we're not online live, our lines are open. Our lines are always open. Always. I want to pull up Marvina notice of her event and share with you guys. Okay, here we go. I want to share this post with you guys. So, if you can, she'd love for you guys to come to her event. Here it is, state of emergency. State of emergency. Wrongfully convicted. If you guys, can you guys read that? See if I can make it bigger. There we go. Minnesota wrongfully convicted judicial reform, state of emergency, the fight against wrongful incarceration. Stand with us. Join us Wednesday, October the 2nd, 12 o'clock p.m. The banner drop, Marion Street overpass. And 6 o'clock p.m. press conference, Governor's Mansion, 1006 Summit Avenue. Our objectives: join us in solitary as we make a powerful statement by unveiling banners above I-94, highlighting the urgent call to address wrongful incarcerations. Afterward, join us at Governor Tinwald's Mansion for a press conference showcasing impacted individuals, advocates, and community leaders. Why this matter? We aim to bring awareness to those who have been impacted for wrongful incarceration and ensure that no one sits in prison for a crime they did not commit. Together, we will fight for justice and change. Our website is www.mnwcjr.org. And that's that. Again, like I said, if you would like to be a host on the podcast, Prison Politics, If These Walls Could Talk, you are welcome to do so. You're welcome to come on live, or you're welcome to, be live on the phone. But our lines, I have the number there, 763-357-9552. And again, this is not a nonprofit organization. I have a lot of people calling me, asking me, can I help them, get a podcast started for their son or their loved one in prison? And I don't know how to do that nonprofit. This is not a nonprofit podcast. This is not a nonprofit organization. It's not a nonprofit nothing. This is an independent podcast, faith-based, controlled by God, created by my son, Lincoln Lamar Caldwell, who was wrongfully convicted 18 years ago. And he created this podcast to support prisoners global around the world, not just here in Minnesota, but global. Around the world. Support prisoners. Prisoners who do not have no one to call. Maybe they want to call someone. Maybe they need to get resources. Maybe they need to get in contact with someone. Maybe they just need someone to talk to. Well, that's what Prison Politics, If These Walls Could Talk, we are here for. Next week, we got something very exciting. It's going to be fun, too. And I'm not going to talk about it. But just remember, next week, we're going to have something very exciting on Prison Politics, If These Walls Could Talk. And I think you guys are going to like it. It's going to be good activity for the prisoners, good activity for the audience. And it's going to be therapy. It's going to be therapy. It's going to be therapy for the prisoners. And, just keep it active. You know what I'm saying? Just keep some tension in there. Keep it spiritual. Keep it godly. That's what I'm saying. Keep it godly. Because I truly believe God is, I truly believe God is in control of everything. And we must have God and keep God into everything that we do. I don't believe nothing can be did correctly or right without him. Again, I just wanted to come on today to just test to make sure all the audio and everything is working here on the podcast, because we are going to start coming on every evening between 5 and 7. And like I said, next week, we're going to start doing something exciting. I'm not going to tell you about it. Just join in with us next week. And if you'd like to be a guest here on the podcast, you're welcome to do so. If you... We do have a link that you can go to where you could be on here live. You could be a guest, and we invite. It's open up for 10. We can invite up to 10 guests here, and the link, I have it on the Facebook page, but I just put it up here. I don't know if you guys can see it. I hope you can, but it's https. Quotes, the top dot, bottom dot, / studio.restream.io/EUC -AKBT -AKO. And if you don't want, if you would like to just be on the podcast, maybe you have something you want to talk about or bring to the audience or bring to the community. Maybe you have something you want to share with the prisons or the prisoners in the community. You are welcome to give us a call and let us know what time and day that you would like to be a guest here on the podcast. Everyone is welcome. Don't cost a thing. This podcast, Lincoln created this podcast for prisoners to have a voice, and that's why he called it Behind, These Walls Could Talk, because prisoners, he wanted them to make sure they had a voice, make sure they had somewhere they could call and get support, help. And because a lot of people, the person go to prison, a lot of, most of the time they're forgotten about, but not with prison politics. If these walls will talk, we get phone calls from prisoners every day. It's not a day go. I mean, and this is the honest to God truth, and I am a child of God. It's not a day go by that we don't get a call from a prisoner. We get calls from prisoners every day, and we do not ignore their calls. We probably miss their loved one calls every now and then, because if we're doing something or I'm at work, then, but prisoners, we do not miss their calls. And a lot of people, it's probably hard for them to grasp why Lincoln created this podcast, but he created this for prisoners. This is created for prisoners, and it's not, so that's the main thing for this podcast, for prisoners in prisons. But everyone else is welcome, to give their opinion, or maybe, like I said, they have something they want to share with the community, the audience. But the main thing this podcast they can create, because he's a prison. The main thing he created is for us prisons. So with that, I'm going to say I love you guys. Join in with us starting next week, every day between 5 and 7, like we used to be. And with that, again, I'm going to say prayer changes things. Prayer changes people. Faith open doors. Faith open prison doors too. With that, I love you guys. Peace be still. Pray for me. I pray for you. Love you guys. See you next week. But again, like I always say, if God leads me or guides me in a way and say, hey, bring this up on the podcast and talk about this, me, you'll get a notification saying Prison Politics, These Walls Can Talk is on live, and there I'll be. So with that, I love you guys. Thank you, followers, and thank you for all the members who have stuck by us here at Prison Politics, If These Walls Could Talk. And most of all, thank you, Father God, for us still being here to support prisoners, because it's all by God's grace. And with that, again, I love you guys, and I'll see you the next time we air live.